It's been 2.5 years since I've been injured, almost 3 years. And I've received over thousands of pieces of mail, letters, cards, from people, friends, family, people I don't even know, just saying thank you. Thank you for doing my job. And I've only read one of them. Not to disrespect anybody, but Scott's not ready to go back to that place yet. It's just not where I'm ready to be. But the one I did read is from one of my soldiers. And the only reason why I know that is when you know somebody, you learn something about your friends. You can literally turn around and know that person's walking down the hallway and can't even see him yet. Maybe by smell, maybe by just walking, but you know who it is, even if they don't sign it. I had a female soldier that wrote a letter stating that I got off the gurney before I got on that helicopter, stood up, saluted my soldiers, and told them thank you. I was proud of them. They did their job, continued the mission. And then I fell back onto the gurney and they boarded me. And I was on my way to Cop Spiker. From Cop Spiker I went to Balad. I died. I flatlined right there 30 minutes before landing. They had to resuscitate me. All the smoke that I took in and the black soot from the radios of the engine, I was spewing that out, as they say, the whole ride. They kept having to suction it out, because my lungs are now over 30% scarred due to the heat. I was the lucky one, believe it or not, only 30% scarred. So they resuscitate me, they get me in, they get me stable. They process me, they get me on the first bird out to Landstuhl, Germany. Well, they didn't do enough because I crashed again. Thankfully, they resuscitated me again. And all of this is going on. I'm ripping out my IVs, I'm scratching at my wounds, making them worse. And I'm just hysterical, evidently. I'm not remembering any of this. But this is all in the report and everything I was told by my flight nurse. A lady who came and tracked me down because she likes to meet every soldier she touches their life with. And that was important to me. So what they figure out they better do is they got to get me to Brooke Army Medical Center, San Antonio, Texas, ASAP. Right away. So they put me in a medically induced coma. That way I can travel better, smoother, and they can monitor me. Within less than 72 hours, I was on the ground at Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio, Texas. That's where I started my recovery, and I spent almost 2 years. I was in a coma for 45 days before I came out of the coma, and when I did, looking around, and I knew I had a bad travel planner, but why is my wife, my mom, and my brother here? It's pretty bad they got the same travel planner. So now I'm not only scarred, burned, and blown up, but now I'm not with my soldiers. I'm in a hospital in the United States and they're still over there fighting no more. That was the first thing I had to overcome before they could even tell me about my injuries. And when they did, I'm over 47% third-degree burn, total body surface. I lost pretty much all my bottom. The only funny thing about it is they offered me implants. I figured J-Lo already had that covered. Brett Favre's got Wrangler commercials covered. So I've got C5 compression on my neck, nerve damage across my shoulders. Both shoulders have been shattered. They both had 2 surgeries apiece to try to repair them, and they have both failed again. I have to have them both replaced. I have 8 compound back fractures and 5 bulging discs. Spinal cord injury, nerve damage in my legs, blood clot in my right leg, 2 blood clots in my right leg now, and PTSD, TBI, long and short-term memory loss, severe migraines that put me around my toilet screaming until an ambulance comes and takes me away. And when I was there at Brooke Army during this whole time doing rehab, I'm seeing people getting to go places and do things. And I talked to one of my friends and he said, hey, it's the Wounded Warrior Project. They provide trips to get us away from the facility and try to get us out there in the community to integrate us again. I'm like, wow, man, I really need that because I can't stand being in this hospital no more. So my first event with the Wounded Warrior Project was a hunting trip in Texas. I had camaraderie again. I could actually talk to somebody. And I ate some of the best food that I've had in almost 2 years. Just the food was important enough to me. Then I get back, and shortly after they say, hey, you can't play no more. You're retired. So I moved to Minnesota, and I'm from Florida. I retired in Minnesota because my skin, it doesn't breathe anymore, and it's a lot cooler there. Of course, it's 9 months out of the year, it snows. But it's better for me. I don't have to run my air conditioner as much. But for the next 2.5 years, I sat in my house, and that was my domain. I wouldn't answer phone calls. I wouldn't answer emails. I wouldn't talk to people that came by to see me. I just wanted to be left alone. And every week, I still looked at who was sending me emails because it needed something to do besides sci-fi. And what I find out, this Wounded Warrior Project's back to bugging me every week. It got pretty damn annoying. So finally one day I said, well, let's end this. Let's read one. And what I found out is every week they were just asking me to, hey, come be a part of us. Come join the alumni. Well, they took care of me once on a hunting trip, so let's see what they got to offer. What's it going to cost me? So I opened the email and asked for my name and social. I put that in, and I got the biggest grin on my face since the hunting trip. Everything popped up from day one of my military career, all my injuries, my current phone number and address, which I never gave them. So for the past 2.5 years, somebody's been tracking me. Basically reaching that hand out every week saying, hey, we care. All you got to do is open an email and tell us that you want to be a part of this alumni, and it doesn't cost you a thing, but we care. So I called them and I said, hey, I haven't seen one thing about the Wounded Warrior Project in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, or any of the surrounding states. And they're not there yet, but they're working their way around the country. I said, well, I want to be a part of this organization. What can I do? So they brought me to Jacksonville, Florida for the summit. I got to express all my concerns about not having anything up north for the soldiers there. And they turned around, and a couple months later they called me and said, hey, Scott, would you like to be a member of the National Campaign Team? What's the National Campaign Team? Well, you just get to go to venues and maybe play some golf and talk to people and stuff like that. Okay, I think I can do that. I love golf. It's the only sport I play these days. Next month, I get a phone call that says, hey, Scott, you want to be a part of the Wounded Warrior Speak program? What's that? It's a new program we just started up to go around and speak at venues such as this great one and tell people a little bit about your story and what the Wounded Warrior Project has maybe done for you and other soldiers out there, service members, and maybe change other people's lives. That's what I want to do, because what I found out in these past 2 months that the Wounded Warrior Project has given me this opportunity is, remember I said I was a leader, I always led from the front? Guess what I am today? I'm a leader again. Because they have entrusted in me to come out to all these different states and countries and be their voice, be their ears, listen, and speak on their behalf. So I get to lead from the front for them. And hopefully I can change not only my life even more, but I can change some of y'all's lives for these men and women over here that are still getting the opportunity to serve. Because without people like you, people like us, it's just a job, you know? And the Wounded Warrior Project, I put some pamphlets on some of these tables throughout. They're a nonprofit organization that doesn't ask for anything in return. They just want to tell you about the programs they provide for the wounded soldiers or injured soldiers and how they help them. And if you want to get involved, look at the program and go to woundedwarriorproject.org. That's all we ask. Because y'all matter, and we're here because you all care. And this is the best country to be in. So please, take the time out to look at a brochure. Take the time out to thank a veteran.